In the evening, my husband and I were lying in bed discussing our vacation plans when Adrian's phone rang. He glanced at the phone, pushed my head away from his shoulder, and naturally got up to answer the call. I didn't think much about it and continued to search online for suitable travel destinations for couples. It was only when I was drowsy that he returned. I groggily asked him why it took so long, and he casually replied that the client was really annoying. I climbed onto Adrian's neck, comfortably nestled into the crook of his neck, and fell into a deep sleep. The next day when I woke up, Adrian had already gone to the office. He promised me that he would take care of everything within 2 days, and then take a vacation to go out and have fun with me. I began to shop online out of sheer boredom, and after finishing 2 calls with my assistants, I called Adrian. "Honey, when do you get off work? I'll come pick you up." "Clara, I'm sorry, the new project the company has taken on is very important, and the client requires me to be involved throughout. I really can't get out of it. Our vacation plans might have to be cancelled." In that moment of disappointment, after all, it was my first vacation in these past few years, and my work is certainly much busier than Adrian's. Is it really that important to ask? What project is it? If not, I can send someone to help you follow up. Adrian's tone became serious. "Clara, we agreed not to interfere with or inquire about each other's work matters." I fell silent. We have been married for 5 years now, and we have never participated in each other's company annual meetings. This was suggested by Adrian, and I gladly agreed. "All right, your work is important, so handle it as soon as you can." I'm working overtime today, so I'll be back later." After hanging up the phone, my feelings of disappointment and grievance slowly began to rise again. Forget it, both of us are workaholics. I really can't sit still at home. Adrian is getting busier and comes back very late every day. I don't want to return to the office, so I've held a few international meetings at home to arrange work, leaving the employees at headquarters feeling anxious and on edge. On our wedding anniversary, I planned to give Adrian a surprise, and Adrian also gave me a surprise. After he returned home drunk once again, I discovered the gift box in his briefcase. Inside was a pink diamond necklace, and I also saw the receipt in the box, 700,000. Although it wasn't expensive, I was still shocked that Adrian gave me such an expensive gift for the first time. I happily put everything back in place, waiting for the wedding anniversary the next day. I called in a private chef, prepared a table full of exquisite and delicious Western cuisine, and had my assistant bring a bottle of $1 million red wine from the company's wine cellar, waiting comfortably for Adrian to finish work. Adrian finally returned around 10 o'clock. I stared at the table full of exquisite dishes and flowers, and at myself in a wine-red dress, for quite a while in a daze. The last slap on the forehead. "Oh Clara, I forgot that today is our wedding anniversary." I almost froze my smile on my face because I wanted to surprise him. I hadn't called Adrian all day, and he hadn't called me either. I thought he wouldn't forget, after all, he saw the gift yesterday. Adrian put away his clothes, took my hand, and led me to a seat, his face full of guilt. I put on a sweet smile again. "It's okay, I know you're busy, go ahead and eat." I gracefully pushed the poured red wine towards him. "Try it, I specially prepared it for you." Adrian looked at me with a momentary fascination, squinting his eyes and smiling at me, and I felt a rare shyness wash over me. "The wine is good." He swirled the glass, not looking at the label of the red wine. I also smiled at him and playfully asked, "Did you prepare a gift for me, husband?" Adrian smiled indulgently. "Of course, I bought it a long time ago. I've kept it in my bag." With that, he got up to fetch his briefcase. I smiled, looking at his figure with anticipation and sweetness, my hand inadvertently brushing against my empty neck. When Adrian turned around, my smile was frozen in that moment. Adrian held 2 books in his hands. Excitedly, he said, "This is the first edition I had someone get for me with the author's signature. Do you see it? It's the professor's own signature." At this moment, my brain has already crashed. Adrian is still telling me about the greatness of these 2 books, how famous the authors are, how they are idols in our financial industry, pioneers of humanity. And I looked at the familiar name on that book. Silently gripping the Ferrari car keys I had prepared for Adrian. After dinner, Adrian went to the study to make a phone call, and just like that, the wedding anniversary passed. I lay in bed thinking about that pink diamond necklace, while Adrian was on the phone for 2 hours before coming out. I pretended to be asleep, and he lay silently beside me. Before long, a faint snoring sound began to emerge. I thought we would spend a passionate night together, but all that was left for me was confusion. The next day, when I woke up, Adrian was already gone. Today, I can't muster the energy to do anything. I recall Adrian's attitude towards me recently. It seems like it has never changed, yet it is slowly shifting in subtle ways. At that moment, the phone rang. I looked at the familiar name, smiled, and answered the call, warmly saying, "Teacher." A gentle, elegant voice rang out from across the way, "Clara, how have you been?" "Of course, how about you?" "That's right, but I still wish you could come back to help me." There was laughter in his voice. If he weren't my mentor, I think I could be enchanted to death by that voice of his. "Teacher, you are already a pioneer of humanity, can you speak more steadily and seriously?" "Clara, the company here needs you. You have already left us for love. Is love really that important?" "Teacher, you know, marriage is a task for me in life, it is a mark engraved in my very bones." After I said this, I was also confused. During my days at Yale, I never regarded marriage as a task in my life, but why did I include it in my life agenda after returning home? Is it because of Adrian? "Clara, I hope you feel happy about your choice. By the way, I will need your help in a while. I need your Tangmen capital to evaluate my project." "No problem, teacher. You have graduated for a long time, we are old friends, can you please stop calling me teacher?" Elias's magnetic voice lingered in my ear. "Okay, when I see you, I'll just call you by your full name." After hanging up the phone, my mood calmed significantly. The work in the country was nearing saturation, and my 3 capable subordinates were almost able to handle things on their own. It was time for me, the one pulling the strings behind the scenes, to gradually come to the forefront. It was 11 o'clock at night, and Adrian still hadn't returned. I called him 3 times, but he didn't answer. For the first time, I had the thought of going to pick him up. I took out the key to the Ferrari. Although I haven't given it to Adrian yet, I will sooner or later. Arriving at Adrian's company, Rongchuang, in the downtown economic and commercial district, a blue glass office building. Looking up, a few offices had their lights on, but I immediately noticed that Adrian's floor was already dark. Is he not there? I called Edson, Adrian's partner, and found out that they are having a dinner gathering today and have already gone to the club to sing karaoke. "Sister-in-law, do you want to come? Adrian has had a bit too much to drink." "Okay, where are you?" "I'm on my way now." After confirming the address, I sped straight to the leisure club. The roar of the bright red Ferrari caught the attention of those at the entrance of the club. I got out of the car and headed straight for the private room that Edson had told me about. The door was open, and inside there were many young men and women, but when they saw Adrian, their expressions froze for a moment. Adrian had a bit too much to drink, leaning against the sofa, with a young girl dressed in pink sitting closely beside him, occasionally rubbing against Adrian's arm with her chest. Adrian had a smile at the corner of his mouth as he turned his head to talk to the girl. When Edson found me, I had been watching for quite a while, observing these two being intimately oblivious to the world around them. "Hey, sister-in-law, why don't you come in?" Saying this, he immediately bumped into Adrian. Adrian looked towards the door, and when he saw it was me, the smile on his face faded. I walked in with a smile and sat down on the other side of Adrian. "How did you get here?" Adrian's voice was cold and distant, making me momentarily fail to recognize him. "Edson said you drank too much, I'm coming to pick you up." Adrian shot an unhappy glare at Edson, who teasingly rubbed his nose. "Sister-in-law, what are you drinking?" "I'll get it for you." "No need, who is this?" I looked at the girl next to Adrian, who remained still. The young girl smiled at me at that moment, extending her hand. "Hello, my name is Cynthia, I am Adrian's party A." I squinted for a moment, taking a look around, and when I saw the pink diamond necklace around her neck, my gaze froze. Cynthia saw that I had no intention of reaching out, and noticing my gaze, she smiled delicately and extended her slender fingers, naturally caressing the necklace. My intuition told me she was provoking me. The young man and woman in the private room whispered to each other, "So this is the sister-in-law, it's my first time seeing her." I feel the same way. I've been here for 3 years, and this is the first time I've seen it. It can't be that there's a problem with the relationship, right? The young finance professional spoke without restraint. Adrian did not introduce me to the others, and Edson also noticed the awkwardness in the atmosphere. It's already past 12, and everyone should head back to rest. We have to keep fighting tomorrow. Well, Miss Cynthia, let me take you home. Sister-in-law, you and Adrian should also head home early. Adrian pressed his lips together and said nothing, while Cynthia looked at Adrian with reluctance. Adrian smiled gently at her and reminded her to be careful on the way. Then, with a serious face, he said to me, "Let's go." Edson first took Cynthia away, and after Adrian settled the bill, our group all walked to the door. Since I wasn't introduced, I didn't need to exchange pleasantries with them and took the lead to walk towards my Ferrari. Everyone looked at the latest model, the red fiery Ferrari, and gasped in shock. "Wow, sister-in-law's ride is so cool. My goodness, this is the new model from the magazine, it seems to be a limited edition. It's way more stylish than Miss Cynthia's Bentley." Adrian didn't expect that I was driving the latest model of Ferrari. I said goodbye to everyone and got in the car. "Whose car are you borrowing?" Adrian asked as he got into the car. "It's for a friend." I suddenly didn't want to tell him that I bought it, and that it was for him. The next day when Adrian left, he actually drove away in my Ferrari. I thought for a moment and sent Edson a message, asking if his business was really as busy as Adrian had said. Edson speaks freely, after all, he is the person I arranged. "Sister-in-law, the new project is with Ming Long, it's a 2-month project, so there's no rush. Fu Zhanting, that Cynthia is, the daughter of the Fu family, just returned not long ago. I heard she graduated from Yale and is quite talented. The Ming Long sent her to liaise with Rongchuang, and she comes to find Adrian every day." I twirled the pen in my hand, my gaze devoid of any emotion. "Did he mention anything about taking a vacation?" Adrian? No, not at all. As Adrian's partner, Edson only invested money without contributing effort, but he still wandered around the company every day. I understand now. After hanging up the phone, I felt for the first time that I didn't understand Adrian. It seems that the reason he didn't go on the trip was because of that heiress named Cynthia. In the afternoon, I called the headquarters, dispatched a few capable hands, and organized a special evaluation team, planning to take over the Mentors project. Only work can help me relax, emotions truly are a stumbling block. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Adrian still hadn't returned, and the app one had specifically set up on my phone sent me a notification about a new route. I opened the dedicated app and clearly saw the situation inside the Ferrari. 5 hidden cameras could accurately record everything inside the car and its surroundings. The invisibility is also for the sake of aesthetics in the car, not to spy on anything. Adrian drove with one hand, sitting next to him was Cynthia, her makeup exquisite, dressed again in a black dress today. Cynthia was talking to Adrian with her body turned to the side, and Adrian listened patiently. The two looked just like a young couple in love. Even as Cynthia hooked her arm around Adrian's, he didn't move. I looked coldly at the sweet couple in my phone, closed the app, and called my assistant to book a first-class ticket to Country M for tomorrow. And instructed the assistant to take my Ferrari away tomorrow, into the company garage. The assistant wanted to say something, but in the end, respectfully said, "All right, boss." I began to focus intently on my Mentors project, and the preliminary materials sent by the assistant had already sparked a strong interest in me for this project. At the same time, I was also shocked by the mentor's precise control over the market, truly a genius. At this moment, I remembered what Edson said, that Cynthia is a talented graduate from Yale. Could it be that I have a successor? Adrian returned at 11 o'clock, and they looked at each other in silence. The car keys are on the table. I have a business trip tomorrow. Aren't you on vacation? Why do you have to work again? Adrian said discontentedly. I took a vacation for our wedding anniversary, and since it has already passed, I feel there's no need to take it anymore. Are you dissatisfied with me? I've already said that this project is very important, and the other party specifically asked me to follow up. You also know that my company is still some distance from going public. I don't know, didn't you say we shouldn't talk about work at all? I replied coldly. This time it's my fault. Once I finish the project, I promise to take you out to have some fun, okay? Adrian sighed, as if I were some unreasonable little girl. No need, you have time, but I don't have time. My work is also very busy. I stared into his eyes, and said word by word. What can your little broken company be busy with? Adrian's tone was laced with disdain. Oh? You know my company? I became curious. Before getting married, I had seen it once, and a few years ago, I paid attention to it again. It's fine, it has potential, but the scale is just about that. I recall that before getting married, when the branch here was not yet established, I had helped a junior sister for half a month, conducting a professional assessment and economic transformation upgrade for her company and project, but she consistently insisted that she would never transform. During that time, Adrian and I were in a passionate romance. He once picked me up because my car had broken down and was being repaired. It seems he thought I had been working at that company all along. The junior's company, due to not transforming at the right opportunities, has not developed and is still a small business, lacking fame, capability, and future, barely getting by. The junior later came to me, but I refused. There was only one chance to ask for my help. If you didn't seize it, I have no obligation to continue helping you. It's a small company, not like your Adrian's financial skyscraper. I suddenly felt like laughing, and I did let out a sound. Adrian also caught my sarcasm and angrily turned to go wash up. That night, Adrian slept in the guest room, while I easily packed my luggage and boarded the plane to Country M the next day. The itinerary in Country M was very packed, and I continuously joined the mentor program's small team without a moment's rest. The people at headquarters were all energized by my arrival. After all, the Tangmen Capital that I founded is a leader in the industry. I had already established the prototype of the Tangmen while pursuing my MBA at Yale. In just 3 short years, Tangmen has invested in no less than 1,500 projects, and the return rate has reached 1 million times. Yes, that initial investment of 15 million is now worth hundreds of billions. The mentor was very pleased with my arrival, and for a few days, he was like a peacock in full display, which made me momentarily forget the cold way he had told me during our first meeting that my homework was worthless and asked if I had gotten into Yale with my brain. Soon, we entered the preliminary assessment, the mentor's project on the global ecological balance, which not only aimed to generate substantial profits but also to address the pressing environmental issues of our time. At this point, I felt for the first time that knowledge changes humanity, and those with exceptionally high intelligence and great love are the vanguards of humanity. The final secondary assessment was completed after 3 days of sleepless toil, and everyone cheered with excitement. Several top researchers, just like the mentor, embraced each other and shouted. And I received a message from Adrian amidst the excitement and cheers. Clara, let's get a divorce. My excitement was still swayed by this message, a person I had lived with for 5 years, yet I couldn't see through. I shook my head helplessly as Elias approached me with a glass of wine. Clara, your team is really impressive. He sincerely praised. No, your project is impressive. I can't imagine the kind of sensation this project will create. Clara, why do I feel like you're not happy? The mentor noticed my emotions. It's nothing, I just want a divorce. I said casually. What? Really? Clara, are you serious? That man wants to divorce you? Does he know what he will lose? Elias, indeed love can affect the speed at which I make money. This is a classic internet saying. Ha ha ha, you are right, Clara, I want to bring this project back to my country. I looked at him in shock, and from his eyes, I saw not a hint of joking. Are you sure? Of course, even if it is for the world, I still hope this project starts from my homeland. I looked into Elias's determined eyes and suddenly found it amusing that I was distracted by love. I raised my glass and clinked it with Elias's, sincerely wishing him well. I returned to my country with Elias and my assistant Dennis from the Tangmen headquarters, carrying all the project documents and core primary chips. Elias went to the Tangmen branch, in the Economic and Industrial Development Zone, the largest commercial park, which encompasses the most cutting-edge technology office buildings and the most luxurious leisure areas. It also features a private park of Tangmen and various recreational venues, allowing the IT techies who work for me to enjoy all kinds of leisure activities in a place where they can feel comfortable despite their social anxiety. At this moment, I returned home. There was no one in the house. Adrian was either working overtime or had gone to find Cynthia. The suitcase wasn't packed yet when a message popped up on my phone. It was a friend request from Cynthia. Through her expression, Cynthia did not speak, and I wisely glanced at her social media posts. The latest updates are like a love-struck little girl. Each one features Adrian's presence. There are photos of Adrian cooking for her, Adrian's profile during a meeting, Adrian's side face while driving, and a picture of their intertwined fingers. The copy keeps saying that I am very happy, the boy I secretly love has finally been won over. I couldn't help but scoff. To say I wasn't heartbroken would be a lie. Over the course of 5 years, after I returned to my country and coincidentally met Adrian, he, a fellow alumnus, began to pursue me. And I, quite naturally, ended up with him. A simple marriage and then life, without the involvement of either set of parents. His parents rarely visit, creating a sense of distance, but this also makes me feel more at ease. I took screenshots of all the moments with Adrian one by one, and then sent them to Adrian and his parents. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, see you at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Adrian's call came in immediately. Clara, are you back? Clara, let's talk. I don't want you to feel like I cheated on you. I haven't gone that far with Cynthia. Alright, since we're getting a divorce, we should settle everything clearly. I arrived at the coffee shop that Adrian had mentioned. Adrian was already there waiting, and it was clear that he looked a bit haggard. Clara, have you eaten? I looked at the familiar face in front of me and suddenly remembered that for these 5 years, we have been the closest of kin, sharing meals, sleeping together, and cuddling. Taking a deep breath, I said, if there's something to say, just say it. At that moment, Adrian's phone rang. After he answered, I recognized his mother-in-law's voice. Adrian frowned and said to talk about it later before hanging up. Did you tell Mom? Adrian said somewhat dissatisfied. Of course, we are getting a divorce, so I have to tell them, so they don't think it's my fault that led to the divorce. Clara, you really don't need to do this. I don't want to hold you back, we can still be family. Forget it, Adrian, I think it's really disgusting that you said that. 5 years, it's nothing more than that. Clara, I'm sorry, but I have indeed fallen in love with Cynthia. I don't want to let her down, nor do I want to hold you back. I know, so tomorrow we will divorce. Is there anything else to say? I really feel that saying too much is meaningless. In my dictionary, I will not force anyone to give me emotions. Clara, you are always so rational. I actually wish you would throw a tantrum with me, like a little woman, and rely on me more. Do you not remember meeting me for the first time? I asked Adrian, dissatisfied. Yes, that's why I am attracted to Cynthia. Don't be fooled by her appearance as a little woman, she is quite impressive. She is a talented woman from Yale, and chatting with her makes me feel immensely enriched. She has a unique economic mindset and high IQ business ideas. I am captivated by her talent. But you know what? Such a remarkable woman can show a softer side for me. She can be delighted for a long time because of something I say, and she can also be moved to tears when I cook for her. Stop it, Adrian, you are really superficial, and besides, she says she's a Yale talent, but does she even know me? Clara, I know you are also from Yale, but she really doesn't know you. Ha ha ha. What a coincidence, I didn't know we had such a talented woman at Yale. And you say you are captivated by her talent, but you have never truly gotten to know me. Do you know what I am capable of? Clara, I know you are very smart and capable, but you really can't compare to Cynthia. I was so angry that I laughed. Adrian, how did I not know you were so vain? You hid it so well before. Adrian's expression darkened, I knew him too well. If Cynthia weren't Ming Long's only daughter, even with her ambitions, if she made him think we were just working in a small company like I did, he would still look down on her. Clara, the house is left to you, consider it my compensation to you. For the past 5 years, we have each taken care of our own expenses. If you need financial compensation, you can bring it up with me. Adrian. I called him with a cold expression. Clara, you can come to me for anything in the future. I know you have no family. I also hope you can understand me. When I fall in love with someone, I just want to pursue her openly and honestly. All right, 10 o'clock tomorrow. Don't forget. I got up to leave, and Adrian didn't call me back. I drove that Ferrari, speeding down the highway like the wind. It's a lie to say I'm not angry, and it's a lie to say I'm not sad. Women are indeed easily swayed by their emotions. I never thought of hiding my abilities from him. It was he who interrupted me time and again, saying he didn't want to discuss anything work-related with his partner, and hoped that once we entered this home, it would just be the two of us. Even the expenses are each paid separately, but how can daily life be completely separated? The household supplies are all being added by me continuously. Every little detail of life is arranged by me. My thoughts drifted further away. The phone rang, it was my mother-in-law. There was no sound from the other end for a long time. Clara, Adrian, I'm sorry. Your father and I didn't want to say anything, after all, that's your own business, but I know Adrian was wrong. Although I never interfere in your lives, I know you are a good daughter-in-law. From now on, you can come to us for anything. We are still your elders, your family, and always will be. Okay. I wanted to say something more, but I hung up the phone, and tears flowed uncontrollably down my face. Back at the division, I plan to live here from now on. The top floor of the Internal Hotel has always had my rest suite. 2 presidential suites, the other one for Elias. Hearing me return, Elias opened the door. Clara, you're back. After saying this, he quickly walked towards me with a serious expression. Did you cry? Saying this, he reached out his hand to touch my face. I dodged his hand, it's nothing, just dealing with some minor matters. Is that your ex-husband? Well, tomorrow he and I will end this marriage. It should have been like this long ago, he doesn't deserve you at all. His abilities are even inferior to my assistant's. I don't understand what you saw in him back then. I don't know why I was drawn to Adrian, maybe it was because he gave me a sense of home. I shook my head, teacher, I'm tired, I've taken a break. If you need anything, you can find my assistant, he is the branch director and also my capable aide. Clara, I'll go with you tomorrow, Elias said seriously. I was taken aback for a moment, no need for that, this is my own business. Saying this, I turned and went back to my room. I vaguely sensed Elias's feelings, but I also thought it was a bit narcissistic of me. What kind of person is a mentor? A true genius, he advocates for a life without marriage, only knowledge can bring him joy. After a deep sleep through the night, the next day, I arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau, as scheduled. As soon as I arrived, I saw Adrian's car. Adrian got out and walked straight towards me, and just as he reached my side, another person got out of the car, Cynthia. She leaned against the car, looking over at us. Adrian, is it so hard to part? Are we going to want to get married right after we finish? Clara, we have a project to discuss in a moment. It's not that we called her here on purpose. Oh? Is that so? I actually think she did it on purpose. I took out my phone and scrolled to the message Cynthia sent me last night. Clara, don't waste your efforts, Adrian loves me. I hope you can divorce him without hesitation. The one who is unloved is the mistress. What I give to Adrian is something you can never provide. There are a few more photos, all of which are various intimate pictures of Adrian by my side. Adrian's face was frighteningly dark, his brows furrowed into a knot. When I handed my phone to Adrian, Cynthia became tense on the other side, even her smile faded away. Adrian didn't say anything after all. Clara, she really isn't mature enough in her feelings, she's always afraid I'll leave her, lacking a sense of security. Don't blame her, it won't be like this in the future. I let out a disdainful hum and walked into the Civil Affairs Bureau. The process was quick, and with the divorce certificate in hand, Adrian felt much more at ease. Many comforting words were spoken around me. I walked out with a blank expression. At that moment, Cynthia came running joyfully. Adrian, are you done? Cynthia linked her arm with Adrian's. Adrian nodded slightly, and the two of them laughed as if no one else was around, but as soon as he thought of the message Cynthia had just sent me, Adrian's smile faded, and he turned to face me. Clara, if you ever need help in the future, make sure to come to me, I will assist you. Before I could say anything, a globally limited edition Maybach came rushing towards us, creating an illusion that it might run us over. The car came to a stop within 5 meters of us, and Adrian looked at the top-of-the-line Maybach. Out of the car stepped Elias, dressed in a bespoke suit, exquisite down to his heels. The two people beside me went from confusion to shock in just a few seconds. Teacher? Cynthia exclaimed excitedly. My God, I can't believe I'm seeing you here, is it really you? Professor? Elias stood still, looking coldly at the woman whose eyes were filled with starlight. At that moment, Adrian also recognized who the person in front of him was and excitedly stepped forward to extend his hand. Hello, Professor, I am Adrian, the general manager of Sunak Group. Elias didn't even look at the two of them and said to me, have you finished everything? Didn't I say I would come to keep you company? Why didn't you call me? The two people beside me were left speechless. I nodded helplessly, finished up, and said, let's go. I got in the car. I turned and walked towards my Ferrari, while Elias turned and got into the Maybach. The two top luxury cars left one after the other. Adrian and Cynthia seemed to be nailed there, and it took them a long time to leave together. Upon arriving at the company, the top assistant traders I trained had already contacted the government. They were very shocked that the elite Elias from Country M wanted to bring this project back home. The government has sent representatives twice in a row, each wave of a higher level. This time, the Tang sect will hold a first-level business conference on behalf of Elias's team, with government officials participating. The first-level Chamber of Commerce is a top-tier consortium that has the ability to influence the market and hold high-level decision-making power. This meeting will publicly announce the details of the project and will also be a patriotic campaign. Every financial institution received an invitation, even Adrian's company got an invitation letter. By the time I realized, I found out it was my assistant's assistant who requested it. He said he wanted Adrian to know what kind of remarkable person he had lost. I was amused by his indignation and followed him. During the preparations for the Chamber of Commerce, Cynthia was still sending me messages. She kept asking why Professor Elias was with me, and I found it boring, so I pulled her onto my blacklist. At that moment, Adrian unexpectedly sent me a message, asking me to introduce him to Elias. Ha ha ha, I've been amused, and I've also added Adrian to the blacklist. Suddenly, it feels like these two people are such a perfect match. During this time, an unexpected person actually called me. It was Edson, Adrian's partner. Edson, is there something wrong? You really divorced Adrian, huh? Yes. I'm sorry, sister-in-law, I didn't help you stop them at the beginning. Edson's voice was filled with regret. It's none of your business, And Edson, about the things I helped your company with before, don't tell Adrian. I really don't want to have any contact with him anymore, it's too much trouble. Sister-in-law, I don't know how capable you are, but I know that you are not just a small employee as Adrian said, I know you are very impressive. I really am impressive, Adrian is just blind to it. I said with a light laugh. Edson was also hearing me speak like this for the first time, and he relaxed as well. Sister-in-law, isn't that Miss Cynthia, the only daughter of Chairman Minglong? She is indeed a wealthy heiress, but I think she's just average. Sometimes, the decisions she makes seem ridiculous to me, yet for some reason, Adrian believes she's a talented woman. I don't know how this persona has been marketed so convincingly, isn't she just a Yale graduate? Hee hee. I also smiled lightly. Edson is a rich second-generation heir. He has money, and although Adrian's father is the hospital director and his mother is a university professor, they really couldn't come up with tens of millions right at the beginning of their startup. It was at this time that Adrian's classmate Edson appeared. The two of them are brothers, and they have been very harmonious over the past few years. Edson doesn't have to think, he just needs to collect his dividends, and Adrian treats Edson very well. The two of them are quite close. Edson, I want to tell you something, and I hope you won't tell Adrian. Sister-in-law, I will definitely keep my mouth shut. Don't call me sister-in-law anymore, my name is Clara. Well, all right then, Clara, this should be fine. Edson, do you know about Tangmen Capital? Of course I know, that's the Tang sect. A publicly listed company, headquartered in Country M, with a branch in the development zone. I've been there, it's so impressive, a vast economic development zone belongs to them, and they even have an airport, did you know? I saw 2 helipads. Well, sometimes to get involved with the project sooner, you need to take a helicopter. So, let's say, be bold. Hey? How do you know, Clara, you're not working at the Tang sect, are you? Well, I am the executive director of the Tang sect, which I founded during my time at school. There was no sound from the other side. After a long while, a trembling voice came through. Clara, you're not depressed because of your divorce from Adrian, are you? Edson, my name is Clara, also known as Clara Sweet. Wow, I'm going crazy, you are sweet, you are the boss of the Tang sect. Remember to keep my secret. Clara, damn, I won't say anything more, you go ahead and get busy, if there's anything you need me to help with, I will definitely give it my all. I hung up the phone and couldn't help but chuckle softly. The Chamber of Commerce convened as scheduled half a month later, with industry leaders from various sectors in attendance at this top-tier business conference. A group of people from the government arrived, including several high-ranking officials I had only seen on television. Accompanying them were some well-known academicians. The Chamber of Commerce's hosting cost several tens of millions, all covered by the Tang sect. Elias has already begun organizing the speech materials, with headquarters assistant Dennis following him the whole time. One of my most capable operators, the other is my assistant, who handles all matters related to the Tangmen branch in the country, covering all domestic enterprises. The assistant followed me in early, and before anyone had arrived, some directors from various industries were already engaging in business pleasantries. Clara, what are you doing here? As soon as I turned around, I saw Adrian and Cynthia. Cynthia was still wearing an exquisite dress, linking her arm with Adrian's. Their affection was on full display even at the Chamber of Commerce. I didn't pay them any attention but instead observed the operations of the entire chamber. Although I felt reassured, with government officials and academicians present today, I still took a cautious look around. Miss Clara, what brings you here? Cynthia asked provocatively. Does it have anything to do with you? I looked at them with a dissatisfied sidelong glance. Clara, this business meeting is filled with capital tycoons from all walks of life, you must be very careful. Adrian said. I looked at the man in front of me, with whom I had lived for 5 years, with contempt. My judgment of men was truly poor. At that moment, a burly middle-aged man walked in with an assistant. Cynthia saw him and sweetly called out, "Dad." The middle-aged man saw the two approaching and scrutinized the man his daughter was with sharp eyes. "Mr. Fu." Adrian greeted respectfully. I heard that you were dating my daughter. I haven't had a chance to talk to you properly yet. Have you resolved things with the person at home?" Adrian glanced at me awkwardly. I am single now." The words from Fu Zhanting carried a hint of authority. "That's good, I don't want Cynthia to bear any bad reputation. I'm not an old fossil either. If you are sincere, I won't say much more." After speaking, Fu Zhanting glanced at me, his eyes filled with the arrogance of someone in power, and I met his gaze without a hint of concern. At that moment, the assistant hurried over, and Fu Zhanting's eyes instantly lit up. The earlier arrogance vanished without a trace, replaced by humility. "Director Du, congratulations. I heard that your project this time is extraordinary." The assistant frowned and looked at Fu Zhanting, the general manager Fu from Minglong. Yes, we had a collaboration before, and this time, we still need President Du's introduction for the business association." "I wouldn't dare, you are very impressive, Minglong." The assistant's tone carried a hint of disdain, but Fu Zhanting was completely oblivious, humbly waving his hands repeatedly. I just got off the phone with Elias, and as soon as my assistant saw me hang up, he came over to me, bending slightly and said, "Boss, it's time to get ready." I stood up, turned around, and left the venue, with my assistant walking softly behind me. Fu Zhanting and Adrian, who remained there, were both stunned and frozen in place. I could still vaguely hear Fu Zhanting saying over there, "What? That woman just now is President Du's boss?" Before long, the hall was filled with people. According to the seating arrangement, the further forward one sat, the more prominent the business tycoons became. The first 2 rows were occupied by individuals with fortunes in the billions, while the front row was taken by government officials, academicians, and several leaders of financial capital. Fu Zhanting sat in the 4th row, while Adrian and Cynthia were seated in the last few rows. At that moment, Elias and I entered through the side door, surrounded by the senior executives of the Tang sect. Everyone in the venue turned to look at us. At that moment, Adrian also saw his ex-wife, surrounded by people as she walked towards the front row of the highest-ranking seats. His shocked eyes widened, and his mouth hung open in excessive astonishment, looking exceptionally ridiculous. Cynthia also glared at me with anger, as well as at Elias beside me. The business meeting is about to begin, and the assistant will host the entire event. Hello everyone, I believe you all understand the significance of this business meeting. To emphasize the importance of this conference, our executive director from the Tang sect will deliver the opening speech. Please welcome Ms. Clara. Everyone applauded as I calmly walked onto the stage, the high-tech holographic images giving the venue a strong sense of technology. When I stepped onto the podium, the holographic image behind me began to introduce the well-known Tangmen Capital Group. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Clara. You may be a bit unfamiliar with this name, my full name is Clara Sweet. When everyone heard that familiar name, they began to applaud wildly. During my master's studies at Yale, with the investment from my adoptive parents, I established the prototype of Tangmen. Later, with the generous help of my mentor, the esteemed Yale professor Elias, Tangmen developed into the multinational enterprise it is today. I dare not claim how formidable Tangmen is, as many of you here are leaders in various industries, and some are pioneering predecessors. The ultimate goal of this business association is global, benefiting all of humanity. This is the culmination of nearly a decade of effort from my mentor. Some say he is a pioneer of humanity, and at this moment, I truly understand the meaning of that term. He is indeed a true pioneer of humanity. He believes this project should be initiated by our homeland, so Tangmen is assisting him in bringing back the research results. Now, let us invite Professor Elias to explain this project to us. The entire audience erupted in applause, while the holographic image of the Tangmen Capital headquarters in the background showcased the most cutting-edge technology company to everyone. The young professor passionately presented his project on stage, pouring his heart and soul into it. I listened from below, my blood boiling with excitement, while the government officials and academicians applauded continuously, their tears of joy streaming down their faces. This is a global battle, and it is also the most prestigious project in the country. A top-tier business conference stirred everyone's passions, with industry leaders collectively investing 90 trillion, several times more than expected. These are all beneficial to the world, as leaders from all sectors seek not profit, but to contribute to this technological battle of China. A thrilling business conference lasted for 2 days, with all the employees of the Tang sect actively cooperating, resulting in a complete success. When the meeting was over, Adrian found me, and at that moment, Cynthia was not by his side. "Clara, you never mentioned that you are the owner of the Tang sect." I disdained this vain Adrian. "It was you who said we shouldn't get involved in each other's work matters, not even bringing me to the annual meeting, so why should I tell you?" Adrian's eyes were filled with regret. "Clara, if you were that amazing, I wouldn't have." "Forget it, Adrian. When you praised Cynthia for being so amazing, I just found it funny, the Yale girl." At that moment, Elias walked up to me, and I looked at him brightly. "Teacher, do we have a talented girl named Cynthia at Yale?" Elias really thought about it. "No, I know all the students in the country, but as for talented women, there is only you, Clara." Adrian's face darkened, and at that moment he realized just how ridiculous he was. The wife beside him was top-tier capital, yet he spoke in front of her about how impressive a Yale undergraduate woman was, even going so far as to divorce his wife for her. Countless regrets nearly broke Adrian. And I no longer care about anything of his. Elias wrapped his arms around my waist. "Let's go, Clara, the celebration party tonight, you are the main character. It's not me, but you, the vanguard of humanity." Adrian recalled the 2 books he had given Clara on their 5th wedding anniversary, both of which came from the man before him. At that time, he had thought his gift was so perfect. What was Clara thinking back then? Adrian had no way of knowing. I walked affectionately with Elias, leaving Adrian bent over in extreme disappointment and regret. The banquet was extraordinarily luxurious, with business people from all sectors gathering, not only to expand their networks but also to facilitate discussions on the future trends of various markets. On the terrace, Elias found me. He handed me a glass of champagne. "Are you still thinking about your ex-husband?" "Of course not, I was thinking of the vanguard of humanity." I smiled and looked at the moon. Elias's eyes shone terrifyingly. "Is he thinking of me?" No, I was thinking about the 4 characters human vanguard." "You can also think of me, you know what I mean, Clara." "Elias, you are my teacher. I'm only 6 years older than you." "Do you think I'm old?" Elias's aggrieved voice sounded just like a little puppy. I unconsciously ran my fingers through his fluffy, smooth hair. "I have armor now, no longer needing a soft spot." Elias looked at the moon with a sense of loss. "Clara, never compromise yourself." Of course, I would never do myself an injustice. Bang, the fireworks show has begun. The enormous fireworks are like the curtain call of a grand feast. This is not the end, but the beginning. Elias and I clinked our glasses together. To the future. To the vanguard of humanity. Exchanging a smile, knowledge is always the essential path to changing the future. As pioneers of humanity, we are dedicated to the surging waves of the human river, forever flowing with fervor.